but when you said, um, we're looking at how insurable you are from a cybersecurity perspective, and when you really break it down, like how safe is your data? How good are your practices?
Good
And if
point.
we were to say, um, you're not insurable for fire safety, we would be looking at each other like, well, what do you mean? We would take that really seriously. And I think the way that you drew that out is a way that not enough of the market are thinking about it yet. We're thinking about it as this thing that's happening to the market, that's happening to us. But the reality is, um, brick and mortar isn't necessarily the way we do business anymore. And we have far more surface area as businesses online where we could be vulnerable to cyber attacks. And I think MSPs that can start to grasp that and start to frame that out to their customers in the same way that Rob is are going to position themselves to be
Hey,
successful. So,
Zach, I just wanted to jump in here because I love that analogy, the fire analogy specifically.
Mhm.
You guys know that I hope everyone watching knows that insurance companies don't go inspect every box panel in a building, right, to find out if a building's going to burn down. They count on residential building inspectors being part of that equation, right? They count on local fire companies in the case of a public building or a local health office maintaining that fire certification, right? And we're sort of in the infancy of seeing that happen to this managed services space as well. And it's an unstoppable force at this point. That is something real that's coming. And MSPs that are preparing for that are going to be catching a whole lot of business, and MSPs that are unprepared for that are going to be edged out.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
blockbustered.
It's not good enough to just do a good job anymore. You have to be able to prove it, right? And so that's
Right.
it.
And Will touched on it earlier where he said about continuous, that continuous underwriting, that continuous process. I don't know that we'll ever get there in every industry. I mean, you kind of trust that there's an eye wash station in the corner of the warehouse and fire extinguishers in every stairwell. But I think there's the IT equivalence of that. If there's a monthly report that really shows a test restore took place, or that a conference room or a tabletop exercise and incident response had visibility to the executive team, I think there's some repeatable dog food, if you will, that will definitely make the insurance team happier to take you on as risk.
Yeah.
Because your intent has been to protect the environment.
There was a time in those warehouses where there weren't eye wash stations, and there were enough incidents where there now are. So I mean, it's going in that direction for sure, and I like that point.
Based on all that too. I mean, I just talking about how if you were to ask someone or tell someone, hey, you're not up to code with fire, they're like, okay, tell me what I need to do to get up to code with fire.
Right.
But people still kind of drag their heels when you tell them, hey, you're not up to code with good cybersecurity posture right now. And it's like, so I don't want to pay for it, right? But then at the same time, you look at the stats. I could name and probably because I'm in the industry, but I could name way more cyber incidents than I can fires that I've heard about. I mean, in the past couple of months, right? And that's kind of a lot of the incidents. A lot of the incidents that people will not bat an eye out to or bat an eyelash towards when it comes to, oh, I'll get the right security in place, I'll get the right safety features in place. They'll do that, but then when it comes to their cyber footprint, they're afraid to. They don't want to move. They're like, nah, it costs too much. I don't want to. MFA is too complicated. Oh, I need to have my admin rights. I need to install Spotify on my machines. Like it's that kind of thing where there's so much resistance to it, but that's their biggest exposure.